Hello, just a quick video on response rate limiting for DNS. So this is one of those kinds of features which helps prevent DDoS attacks, and especially DNS amplification attacks, where the attacker sends huge volumes of forged DNS queries to a large number of authoritative DNS servers using the victim's IP address as the source of the request. So essentially, it's sending loads of self-stamped envelopes, almost, you could think of it like that, and because it's sending them all there, they're checking it and they're all going to one place. So if you think of it like mail, it would just be going there to the post office and then coming out of the post office with huge volumes, so that you've got thousands, millions of kind of letters all coming around the same time, just cluttering it up, and eventually it just causes it to collapse from overload, the computer. So it's quite a nasty sort of attack. And what response rate limiting does is it just sees where these are coming from and looks for a pattern. So it kind of looks for a pattern of the arriving queries, and when it finds a pattern which suggests that it's abuse, it can reduce the rate at which the replies are sent. This is not enabled by default, so we have to switch it on. So I'm just going to use my DNS one and go into PowerShell, as I usually do. And here we are in PowerShell. I'll just clear the screen, and how you do it is, firstly, we'll double check it. So we'll double check that it is off before we start doing anything. So I'm just going to use the get DNS server, which is where we are, and response rate limiting, which is what we're interested in. So we'll have a look. And we can see under mode, disabled. So we want to set it. So we're going to set the DNS server, which is where it is, and the response rate limiting, we want to set it and go mode, which is what we can see down there, and just tell it enable. And we're going to update it, and we'll go why. There we go, and it's on. Okay, once you've got it on, you might want it so that it doesn't accidentally slow the wrong thing. So if you've got loads of things on your internal network and suddenly it decides it's going to rate limit all of that, it's not a very good thing for you. So we're going to use an exception list just to stop it, kind of looking at the local traffic. So in our case, we're on itsupport.net. So I'm just going to add the DNS server, response rate limiting, and then I'm just going to go exception list, because it's an exception list. I'm going to give it a name, and the name, I'm just going to call it a whitelist, because we normally call things like this whitelists in computing. I'm going to look at the fully qualified domain, and I'm going to make sure it equals, and I'm going to use a wildcard just so that it does everything, and do itsupport.net. Okay, and I'm just going to press enter, and it will create it for me. And we'll just double check a few things. We can see by the get command that we've got it enabled. We also look at the exception list just to triple check. Response rating exception list, and it will tell us that. So that is how you set up response rate limiting, and also just kind of a general bit about what denial of service attacks are. Distributed denial of service attacks, DDoS, and the amplification attacks. You can also have amplification attacks by people sending kind of a certain amount of data to a DNS server, and what it will do sometimes on the replies, it's much bigger, so it becomes an amplified version. So it kind of has a lot more data coming at you, the victim, than what they're sending, so they can send it really quickly and get it on. But anyway, I'll see you on the next video.